I think I'm broadcasting. Alright, hello and welcome to the channel again. Thank you for tuning in. If you are tuning in, and if you're not, thank you for joining just now. And if you don't see this at all, thanks anyway. So, I don't know how I never knew about Elite Dangerous. I knew it was in the background, and I knew it was there, but I'd literally never heard of it. Like, and knew it was a good space game until like just a couple days ago while I was playing Blessed Unleashed because yeah, Blessed Unleashed is a bad game. Don't play it. But anyway, so I'm hopping onto Elite Dangerous because I heard it was a really good space game. And I'm always looking for a good space game. And yeah, here we are. Alright. So anyway, I know nothing about this game, so I'm coming into it completely blind. Which I'm hoping it's not in the single-player thing, and I'm hoping it's in the multiplayer online, because I would really like to have that, you know, interaction with other people and have them fucking blow bullets up my ass.
I was waiting for you to ram into a sun.
Listen, I'm not gonna ram into a
You
sun.
most certainly are. It happens to everybody.
No.
Yeah.
I am not Neo. It won't happen to me.
Or if you stop right in its gravitational pull and just take a second.
Okay.
Welcome to Molten Dock. Make yourself comfortable while we finish some preliminary ship checks.
Yes, please.
My name's Theo Acosta, and I'll be running your Pilots Federation evaluation. Most pilots assigned to me earn their license, so as long as you follow my instructions, you'll be a commander in no time. Oh, and before you ask, I may sound like an Imperial, but I'm actually from an independent system. Today we'll be covering the basics of flight control, combat, and frameshift drive use. This Sidewinder has been installed with a specialized computer that'll take control at certain points. Mostly you'll follow a series of objectives to guide your actions. These are shown in the info panel at the top right of the head-up display. Okay, you're good to go. Select auto launch from the options ahead of you when you're ready.
Could you do me a favor and plug it in? Yeah. I don't know where else I would plug it. Yes, I'd plug it in my ass. That's where phones plug. Unplug the lamp. Why would I unplug the computer? I need my computer. Ooh, now I feel like I'm in space. Everything's dark in here. Alright. Mawson's Dock. Huh? If you need to turn on the other light. Anyway, I don't know what the hell he said to me, so I'm just gonna... I really have no idea. Select all.
Ship release confirmed. Auto launch sequence underway.
The beauty of auto launch is that you can relax and enjoy the view. One of the ways that technology allows us to appreciate the good things in life.
It could not be any more disorienting than
Other
Valkyrie.
applicants are departing for their own evaluations, but this isn't a race. Each of the coming stages can be completed at your own pace.
Just PvP spaceships. It's Eve, but it's a space shooter. But anyway, yeah, Valkyrie, I fucking rocked in Valkyrie. But anyway, let's not talk about the past. Man, that's so gorgeous!
Remarkable, isn't it? For so long, humanity gazed up at the stars in wonder. We're not distracted by one of Earth's many wars. And now, we glide between them without a second thought. Ah, here we are. Your first task is to demonstrate basic ship movements. A ship's trajectory is primarily controlled by pitch, yaw, and roll. Perform each of these now. Good. Now increase your throttle to accelerate forwards. Decrease the throttle to resume a stationary position. Your throttle can also be pulled back from zero to engage reverse thrust. As before, push the throttle in the opposite direction to cease moving. Inputs confirmed. Looks like you've got the hang of individual controls. Let's see if you can put them all together. Your next task is to guide your ship through a series of checkpoints. Head towards the course, following the target indicator. The course weaves through an orbital structure and is designed for the novice pilot. Fly through the center of the first checkpoint. You'll notice that they change color as you fly through them. And we're off. There's no time limit, so maintain a comfortable speed while you familiarize yourself with the controls.
This is funny because I know I'm going to be spending
Rolling
a
and
lot of
pitching
time like
together is the
upside
most
down.
efficient way of turning rapidly. It's good practice to consider the angle and speed of your approach. See the blue marker beside the throttle gauge? This indicates the optimum turning speed.
Yeah, this feels just like... Valkyrie definitely felt a lot more fluid.
You're approaching a particularly sharp
ease,
turn,
of course.
so I advise slowing down to prevent any mishaps.
Yeah, I have a feeling I will have fun with space combat when the time comes around and I'm forced to do it.
Your ship's boost function greatly increases your speed, but use it wisely. That's the last checkpoint. The Sidewinder is an agile craft, and you handled it well. A new icon has appeared on the sensor display in the center of your dashboard. This represents a nearby beacon, which you'll soon scan as part of your evaluation.
Okay.
Target the beacon before we continue. You're going to use your ship's data link scanner to analyze the beacon, but you need to deploy hardpoints first. Good. Most external modules are installed on hardpoints, including weapons. Control is back with you. The beacon is relatively small, so you'll need to position yourself close to it. Watch your speed here. We intend to scan the object, not become one with it. Not that close, pilot. Reverse your ship slightly.
I see. I have done the exact
can scan
thing
the
I said
beacon
I
now.
wouldn't do. Slammed into things.
But it wasn't a sign.
versatile tool that connects with network interfaces and various data points. You need to move to another area of this star system to continue your assessment, pilot.
Hold on.
Rather than travel for the next year using your thrusters, you can employ the ship's frameshift drive to increase your speed by a few orders of magnitude. First, ensure that the ship is correctly secured. Your landing gear, cargo scoop, and hardpoints must all be retracted. When you're ready, throttle up and engage Super Cruise.
Frameshift drive charging. Ready to engage. 1. Engage.
Well, never mind. You've got it. All readouts look good. You're now accelerating towards a velocity comparative to the speed of light, measured in c. Supercruise is used to navigate within a star system, allowing you to cover significant distances in minutes. Usually you'll retain control in Supercruise, but on this occasion your ship's computer is following a preset path. This is a good time to familiarize yourself with a couple of the cockpit panels available to you. In the top left of your HUD is the comms panel, which displays pilot communications and contacts across several channels. The top right is your info panel. Entries here mostly relate to your ship's status, computer messages, and events happening around you. Ah, there we go. Welcome to Lightspeed.
If I was at light speed, I wouldn't be able to see any of this. You know, because if you're traveling at light speed, you're traveling at the speed of light, so none of the light there would show.
Watch the distance and speed markers on the dashboard. These are used to help you accurately disengage at your destination. Your next lesson will introduce the basics of combat. Several static and mobile targets will be provided around a decommissioned megaship. We'll also cover some situational information about weaponry and target tracking. And yes, you'll get to shoot those weapons you saw earlier. Astronomical bodies have a gravitational effect on the FSD, reducing your ship's speed. The closer the body, the greater the effect. The frameshift drive is disengaged. Welcome to the combat zone. Before you start shooting, however, try analyzing the megaship with a data link scanner. Well done. It's often worth scanning objects you're unfamiliar with to learn more about them. Next, you need to activate your weapons by cycling to a different fire group. You'll notice that your weapons are now listed on your HUD. Fire groups allow you to manage your hardpoints efficiently. Let's begin the combat evaluation. Destroy several of the canisters.
Okay.
All weapons have an effective range, so you may need to move closer here. Try targeting the canister you're aiming at. useful for navigating around large structures. Why not give them a try? Your cannon will automatically reload until the ammunition supply runs out. Meanwhile, your laser will fire until the capacitor is depleted, at which point it will need to recharge. Quota achieved. Let's dial up the challenge a notch, shall we? An unmanned craft has arrived nearby. These drones are used by the Pilots Federation as target practice, and they're quite harmless. To continue, bring the craft into your sights and open fire.
Because I'm an idiot and I let it go.
Let your weapons do the work. There's no need to ram your opponent.
Target destroyed.
I destroyed it.
Nice work. You may have noticed that multi-cannons are effective against unshielded targets. Another craft has arrived. This one is fitted with a shield generator. Helpfully, your burst laser is a thermal weapon, which excels at stripping away a target's shields.
I'm doing terrible. Or have you?
Target destroyed.
Consider me impressed. Your final target has dropped into the area. This time your opponent will fight back, but its damage capability has been greatly reduced. Your target will not react until it registers shield damage. Engage when ready.
Hey,
pilot.
your ship dragged me out of the combat area, so what am I supposed to do? Guess I will force it towards me.
Under attack.
Man, I'm in garbage right now.
Under attack. Under attack.
This is so much more difficult than Valkyrie. Yeah, they feel really sluggish. Because I know if I was up against an actual player, I'd have had my ass handed to me. Twice.
Under attack. Target shields offline. Target destroyed.
That was the last target. Even if you're planning on a peaceful career, understanding the basics of combat is vital for a pilot's long-term survival. For advanced combat information, you should refer to the pilot's handbook, which we'll cover in more detail soon. The next step of your evaluation involves a hyperspace jump to a neighboring star system. On this occasion, your ship's computer has selected your destination for you. We'll cover selecting destinations manually soon. The mass lock indicator on the bottom right of the dashboard is active. This means a large object is
I
in
don't
close
know why
proximity,
it keeps telling me
preventing you from
circle is
engaging them.
target when it's not actually targeting anything. Deplete hard points. Select target. Toggle frame shift, increase throttle, okay. External panel, internal panel, cycle firing group, cycle previous firing group. That's good to know. Divert power to systems, engines, weapons, distribution. That'd have been nice. I think I may end up getting a joystick or something for this and turn this into a VR game.
What do you mean a joystick?
You know what a joystick is, right?
Yeah, on a controller. You mean like an Atari joystick sort of thing?
Like an actual joystick. That's where the term joystick comes from. Is they look the big thing with the
It's not a stick that gives you joy.
listen.
I'm listening. What you gotta say?
Nothing.
So fun.
Sure. Okay. Graphics, adjust the graphics. Oh, field of view. Suit the audio, yeah, we'll just keep everything there. See, because it says circle target, but if I hit circle, it's not gonna fucking do anything to put me
Frameshift drive charging. Frameshift drive charging. Four, three, two,
Oh, is this me flying into the sun? Yeah.
Technology has made the task of leaping between star systems appear trivial. Never let this simplicity distract from the marvel humanity has achieved. Your next stop is Quello Station. This time we'll employ the Supercruise Assist module to guide your approach. Open the external interface panel to your left and select the Navigation tab. Highlight the starport in the location list and then select Supercruise Assist. It's the second option.
It certainly didn't. Super Cruise Assist. Highlight Halea Station. Okay. Oh, Super Cruise Assist.
If you're lost, exit the external panel and start over. You can take your time to familiarize yourself with the panel controls.
I assume it's multi.
With the destination selected, throttle up and aim towards your target. The compass to the left of the sensor display will help you orient yourself. Be sure not to target anything else, or Supercruise Assist will disengage again. Good. Your ship is now bound for Quello Station. Let's take a moment to review the interface panels either side of your chair. The external panel is primarily used to interact with the galaxy around you. For example, you can access maps, display contracts, and review nearby objects. Meanwhile, the internal panel displays information about you and your ship. You can adjust module functions, check your records, and access the codex, among other things.
Mostly harmless, mostly penniless, mostly aimless, mostly helpless.
New pilots often wonder what their first step into the galaxy should be. The pilot's handbook is a great source of help in this regard. It details a variety of professions and how to outfit your ship for them. The handbook also offers advice on various ship functions that aren't covered in this evaluation. You can find the pilot's handbook in the codex, accessible on the home screen via the internal interface panel. The trails moving around you are FSD wakes. Just a moment. It seems Supercruise Assist has disengaged. Where were we? Yes. The trails moving around you are FSD wakes. Your ship is also emitting one. The position of each correlates with their respective sensor display icons. In a moment, we'll be going through the docking process. This will cover docking permissions and a standard landing pad approach. Welcome to Quillo Station. This is the final stretch. You'll dock here shortly, but I'd like you to position your ship near the starport's access corridor first. Starports are the backbone of humanity's operations throughout inhabited space. They provide mission boards, the commodities market, a number of specialized contacts, and various ship facilities. Most pilot business is conducted via the Starport Services interface. I recommend familiarizing yourself with this screen when docked. Good. Ease off the throttle and hold position here. Oh, and try not to block the access corridor. We'll be using the docking computer for this landing. You can always dock manually in future, of course, but practice in a training simulation first. Whichever method you use, all ships must seek docking permission before approaching a landing pad. To request docking permission, open your external interface panel and select the Contacts tab. Then select Quillo Station in the list, followed by Request Docking in the information panel. Docking permission authorized. Docking assist has been engaged. You've been assigned landing pad 3. The compass will point towards your designated pad. Ships need to be within 7.5 kilometers of a starport for a docking request to be considered.
I like how it's playing the overture. You know, that space overture.
The docking computer will now demonstrate a safe landing procedure. Let's review what it's doing. Landing gear must be deployed. The related dashboard indicator lights up if this has been done.
Landing gear deployed.
Okay, so you're gonna tell me how I deploy my landing gear? That'd be nice.
In a moment, the sensor display will switch to the precision approach display, which helps you accurately set belly down on the landing pad. Docking procedure complete. Engaging pad restraints. Let's get your ship ready. Congratulations, Commander. Your evaluation has been successful, and a license is being assigned to you as I speak. We just need to finalize your credentials. Enter the hangar to exit this evaluation. It's time to blaze your own trail across the galaxy. The manner in which you do so is up to you.
I will say I am fairly is permanent and cannot be changed. Select body type. Female. Because everybody cares about females in space. Actually, I just prefer females, you know. Better aerodynamics. Let's see. Horizon Sidewinder or New Commander. Planetary Ops or All-Rounder. I mean, do I want... They're both the exact same. Loadouts. Planetary Ops. All-Rounder. Let's go with All-Rounder. Actually, let's see. Top speed 221, 322. FPS range I'm assuming that's fuel. Shields, armor, hull mass, 20 cargo capacity. I see. Yeah, there's no reason to ever really... There's no reason to play the Sidewinder. Description: Sidewinder kitted out for surface operations with a 2-ton hold and a vehicle bay equipped to defend SRV and a planetary approach suite. Okay. Stock Sidewinder. Oh. I see, so this has more cargo capacity and stuff. It's slower, has same armor, same mass, less cargo hold because it has a vehicle in it. You know what? Let's take the all-rounder. What's my ship name? Oh my god, I didn't know I could name my ship. There we go. My go-to name for things I don't know what to name. The Whisker Biscuit. Ship plate ID. What do you think? Good ID?
The ship ID plate?
Yeah.
Yeah. Ship name Whisker Biscuit.
Yeah, Whisker Biscuit has
I
been
would
like...
straight up name that shit Pop Tart.
Whisker Biscuit has been like my name for things I don't know how to name forever. So when I get a new ship, it'll be the Whisker Biscuit 2. And it'll just keep going up for every ship that I have to get.
Whisker Biscuit Mark 1, Mark 2.
Oh no, it'll just be Whisker Biscuit 2, not Mark.
Oh.
Because Mark would be like, oh, it's a new model, but...
Oh.
Well, I mean, if it's a completely new... Yeah, I guess. No, but if it's a completely new make, then it doesn't make sense to do that. Because...
I didn't know Mark meant anything.
Yeah, Mark usually refers to, like, the model or the particular model of that ship. So, like, a Mazda Millennia. And if you were to make a Mazda Millennia and then make an upgraded version, it would be like a Mazda Millennia Mark II. Or if you made another one, it would be a Mazda Millennia Mark III, which means it's from the line of the Millennias, but it's an improvement upon the original design, or the previous design. So that's why you have, like, Mark 7s, Mark insert things here, because it's just an upgraded version.
Oh, okay.
Welcome to your new ship, Commander. Your pilot's Federation license has been issued, and you're free to traverse the galaxy as an independent pilot. Before Before launching for the first time, allow me to quickly introduce the basic interface for mission contracts.
Please do.
Almost all pilots will use the mission board at some stage. A contract has been assigned to you. Active missions are displayed in the Transactions tab of the external interface panel. This time you'll need to travel to Mawson Dock in the Dromi system. You can select these destinations on the navigation screen of the external interface panel. If you'd like to practice your journey first, I recommend the training simulations accessed via the internal interface panel. To review what we've discussed, select your comms panel and scroll through the recorded text. I'll contact you at Mawson Dock if you decide to complete this mission. If you choose to take a different path, then I wish you luck, Commander.
Oh, there I am. There's my hollow me. Let's go ahead and suit flat green. No, sir.
It's as obnoxious as possible.
Hmm?
Obnoxious.
Yeah, that's pretty obnoxious, right?
I won't say obnoxious, but I like it. What's that red one?
I mean, I can't select it, but
I figured you could preview things.
yeah, you can preview stuff. That's not what we're here for. Well, we're not to preview stuff. Randomize helmets. Helmet always on, emergencies only. Let's do always emergencies only, because then I know complexion, female preset 1. Oh man, there's character creation. Woo! Y'all better prepare. This is gonna be the character creation episode. Jesus Christ. She looked like a spider.
She looks like a spider.
Yeah, she got them large ass eyes. She could probably fucking see the next star system. This lady looks like a fucking vulture. But that's okay. You're free to look however
You're free
you
to look like a vulture. If you so choose. Not if you're born with it, though.
I'm gonna go with let's see. Go with these presets. See if I can find a good preset here. Just
There's never good presets. Really? Oh, I kinda like that one.
yeah, it looks pretty nice. So preset 13. That's pretty nice too. 13, 16.
That looks like a moon.
You should have seen some of the others.
Now, are you gonna butcher it like
Don't say.
Fallout character?
No, I'm not gonna butcher it. What do you mean my Fallout character? I don't butcher my
The one
Fallout.
that you made look like
Oh,
a burned skin.
look. No, that was just for. Hey, that's pretty good. I like that a lot.
Oh, I do like that one. I
Yeah,
like
it
your
looks
makeup
really
and stuff
nice.
on it, too.
So 13 and 21.
I would go 13. Oh no! What's the space? Because I got cancer.
Space cancer. Jesus. Alright. What is this little boy doing in here?
It's you when you shave.
What?
What?
It's not me when I shave.
If you heard me
Shut
like
the
you said-
heck. Because it took me a second to realize what kind of sass you just gave me. Listen. I didn't log on to the internet today for this.
Yeah, you did, because you got on the internet.
Ooh, I like that too.
Ooh, I like the eyes.
Yeah.
If that was the dreads. Oh, I like your man too.
Dang, there's a lot of presets in here. What did she just do with her mouth? She went like,
I think she's smart. That jaw. That looks like a man too.
how many presets are there in here?
More space cancer.
Listen, not everyone who's bald has space cancer,
You're
alright?
bald and pale.
So, they're in space. Where are they getting sun from?
The ones that they almost fly into, they cook it, they go.
Listen.
They get their suntan for like 3 seconds, and then
Listen.
they're good.
No. That's not how that
There's
works.
enough stars, nobody
Dis
should be pale.
dis the future.
Exactly. Why y'all pale? Get it
Why
done.
she look? She's
More
not
cancer.
pale.
More cancer.
She-
She had a stroke too. Look at the half of her face.
my
It's like slouched.
Oh my god.
Slouched, sagging.
It's not sagging.
Got a big ass eyes.
Listen, you got big ass eyes. No, you don't.
With my glasses, I do.
Yeah, when you put on your glasses. Yeah.
Thick lenses. Yeah, I like that one the most. That one and then the one with the dreads. The one that had like the blind-like eyes. If that had dreads too, I liked it. But I probably like that one the most.
Deathly
Oh, it's
pale.
just freckles. You can see when you're super, super pale.
Medium fair. Why does medium fair seem lighter than fair? Medium fair. More like medium rare. Age. What? Don't yeah. Old people are human too.
Once you reach Karen, you're no longer human. Karen's the new breed of Homo sapien.
Let's hope not.
Karen. No, I guess you're right, 'cause you'd be a young Karen.
Asymmetry 1.
If you want your face to be crooked.
Yeah, I mean, as most people's are. Scars, none selected. What do you mean, no scars? She's an anime protagonist. She has to have
Ooh, you're gonna
scars.
get the eye one.
Listen, the eye one is too cliche.
All of them. Can you have all of them?
No, I think you can only select one. Across the throat? Heck yeah. That's a good one. Okay. Heck yeah, across the throat. Somebody tried to frickin' slit her. I'm good with that. Body. Oh, that's all. Hair. Mohawk 1. Let's start with bald, so that way I can work on the rest of her stuff. Heavy lid. Angled. Different. Width. Fold 4. if I'm gonna be in the future, I'm definitely gonna go ahead and like upgrade my eyes, and not now that Alexandria's Genesis. C2. Yeah, that should be fun. K nose tip. Mouth. Yeah, that's what I've got. It's that nice Cupid's bow thing. Ears are always so damn hard to design. Like, they're just weird. Ear thickness. Okay, head. Head width. I'd say sharp. Jeez, that default looks huge, though. Pointed, yep. Randomize neck. Now we can find a good set of hair. Flat color black, no. These are pretty far away. We don't currently have any patients looking to travel or future soon seeking transport. Local fines, hand out bounty vouchers, and claim trade dividends and intel packages. Contact receiving a financial reward in exchange. The amount you receive will depend on the type and quantity. You can exchange local combat bonds for a financial reward. You can hand in search and rescue items to this contact to receive a financial for each recovered item. The amount you receive will depend on the type of item recovered. Engine detailing, no, nothing there.
Greetings, Commander. This is Alex, your cockpit voice assistant, or
Greetings, Commander.
Greetings, Commander.
Bienvenue,
Приветствую, командир. Это Максим.
Saudações, comandante. Sou a Vitória, sua assistente de voz da cabine.
Ich grüße Sie, Kommandant. Dies ist...
Bienvenue.
Saludos, comandante. Me llamo Luciana y soy tu asistente de voz en...
That's interesting.
Greetings.
Greetings, Commander. This is Victor.
Bienvenue, commandant. Je suis Amélie.
Saludos, comandante. Me llamo Luciana y soy tu asistente de voz en cabina o a boca. Estoy aquí para ofrecerte información de los sistemas y respaldo analítico a lo largo de tu viaje. Soy un elemento estándar ofrecido por la Federación de Pilotos de acuerdo con el Estatuto B7-249 del Estatuto de Tránsito Estelar. Ten en cuenta que por motivos de seguridad es ilegal viajar en la mayoría de sistemas sin el uso de la tecnología a boca.
That's cool as heck. I love it. I'll keep it in English because I actually would prefer to have it in Spanish. I just think it sounds really nice, you know, and I can still understand it.
Is to provide systems information and analytical
Understanding
support
of your
throughout your
vehicle
journey.
and to
I am
provide any
issued a
security.
standard by the Pilots Federation in accordance with Statute B7249 of the Interstellar Transit Charter.
Yeah, let's go with.
Greetings.
Greetings, Commander. This is Victor, your cockpit voice assistant, more commonly known as Kovas.
We'll leave it as there for now. Personally, I prefer
Greetings,
to...
Commander. This is Leo, your cockpit voice assistant.
Great.
Okay. Ship kits. I'm not really looking for any ship kits or anything right now. At the moment, I am just taking a look at what I can actually do with this thing. My flying biscuit will eventually be replaced. Power play hourly update. Government. State of wealth conflicts. Okay. This one would be converted to a balance of 117. I don't know what any of that means. That is all past my stuff. Conflict and damages. Station activity report. That looks like the underdog, Zamina. Let's see, sticky notes. Before a terrorist attack, I'm going to use proliferation. You have to excuse me as I kind of go through everything and figure out what the heck is going on. Building fabricators. Open up spaceports. Needed commodities. Bids to prepare spaceways. Okay, this is in market volatility. I will really have to go ship Blades Alliance to discoveries made 200 years ago by an abandoned megaship. It revealed untapped research of meta-alloy master which launched return via Master. Profits if sold at. I don't know enough about the agricultural market here to really do anything. That's what I already have. Shift comparative. No, just my viewership.
Oh, there was a loud thud. It sounded like it was out here, but I couldn't tell.
No, it's probably
It was
upstairs.
really loud before.
No, I didn't hear anything out here. A Viper Mark III. That's funny. That's probably meant to be based off of the Vic Viper. Okay. There's a lot of news in here too. Yeah, like stuff that happens that either players do or corporations do.
So are there factions you can join?
I'm not sure. I assume at some point. Galactic powers. So, there's the Empire, the Alliance, the Federation, or, excuse me, Empire. Galactic power standing. Latest poll results from Galnet.
Hey, it's that Asian cop guy that's in everything.
Which one?
The one underneath that.
Oh. Alliance, Empire, Alliance, Federation,
The dude with the beard looks like a real photo.
Empire.
The one next to him too.
Empire, Federation, Felicia. You're asking the wrong person. I assume they are not. I assume they are.
Yeah, that one and the one on the left look like real pictures. So weird.
That one?
Yeah, that one and the one with the beard.
It's time we woke up and delivered justice. Okay, galactic standing, number 1, standing increased. CC income from 975 exploited systems. Upkeep from 89 controlled systems, CC overhead. Ethos. The Emperor's staff researches intelligence from systems to expose endemic corruption. These damning reports are used to highlight the benefits of imperial justice. It's time we woke up and delivered justice. She woke! To save the system from corruption of their own officials. Dispatches contingent with their own fleets. Private contractors to root them out. Weak against dictatorship governments. To save a system for the corruption of their own officials, Emperor Levigny Duval dispatches contingents of her own fleet and private contractors to root them out. Strong against feudal and patronage, weak against dictatorship. Control. Law and order systems, strong against feudal, weak against dictatorships. That's interesting. Each of them has their own pledges and Pledge Alliance, unyielding stance on retributive justice manifests and subsidy payouts for bounty hunters in her domain. Leaving or defecting. Should you leave Divigny after pledging, you will lose your rating and you'll be unable to join another power for half a day. Defect. Should you choose to defect to another power, you will carry half of your merits depending on your rating. You will be targeted by members of that power for a period of time. All tokens and bonds for your original power will be invalidated. Let's see, basic rating, weekly bonus. So I guess depending on who you're with, it also helps you get money and stuff. Parties, 15 merits, preparations. Cycle. Defense bonus. I see. You can Expansion. Under threat. Control. Too much of humanity has grown soft and weak. Obviously in the last one. Exploits and nurtures the criminal element in the system, providing resources and contact to ensure they pervade every level of society. Blackmail and bribery ensure everyone answers to him. Kumo crew. 10, let's see, total income capital available. After nurturing the criminal element, the system. There's no time for we rule through fear and will divide and conquer those that are resistant, so will pay the inevitable price and have their families sold into slavery. Welp. Disdain for law and order is clear. Supporters enjoy reduced sentences for crimes committed in his domain. Should you leave after pledging, be unable. Should you target all tokens? Yeah, okay. So roughly the same thing. Preparations for... No systems to expand. There are no systems targeted for expansion. No systems were successfully prepared last cycle. Looks like a bunch of people are preparing to consolidate. Let's see. Progress in mankind's development is inevitable, but it's imperative that we prevent the lust for innovation from jeopardizing the successes of our past. Use secret agents to support insurgent forces and systems he's preparing. So he's all about the revolution. Idolized among his supporters and respected as a leader throughout his control. His support among the populace is absolute. His dominion unshakable. Ah! Is Stalin. Independent. Utopia is a consensus of values and innovation. Yeah, I think you should see the guy's face before you say he's so realistic.
I was saying those pictures themselves were...
Yeah, here's his whole thing.
Which one? The beard or the other one?
Like, all of them. Here. Show you what they all look
Look
like.
at the lady.
So...
Yeah, I didn't mean him.
Yeah, I know what you meant.
The-
Comrade!
What about the other one? Yeah, that looks like they just photoshopped a real face on
We have
the logo.
expanded beyond the teachings of the fathers into a new world led by the Son.
That one sure looks like they just pasted a face on him.
Utopian forces deliver propaganda on a mammoth scale, promising a chance to begin again in a global land of opportunity. Oh no. Multi-marketing. Saving systems from misguided bureaucrats who resist the truth of utopia. Strong against communist, cooperative, and confederation. Weak against feudal, prison colony, and theocracy. Appealing ideals and philosophy of utopia gives support, influences systems. Okay. Independence. Sirius Core has been an interstellar leader for centuries, and with Sirius Gov, we take that to another level. Leverages connections with Sirius Corp to build an irresistible flood of discounts and media presence, inspiring spending and investments from the populace. Well, there it is. I think this might be the thing I go to. The guy who's all about the money.
Sounds like you.
They have a big weakness, which is any type of government that seems to work with people working together. Being a subsidiary of Sirius Corp allows the organization to subsidize ship insurance costs, claims for supporters. Federation. Felicia Winters. The mistakes of our past cannot be allowed to cloud our futures. President Felicia Winters' media team provide education on how liberal values being a better life to all of the targeted systems. Extensive ad campaign improving welfare and health in the system. It's accompanied by an agreement to ensure federal values are respected in those systems. Include political stance fosters greater cooperation, giving supporters increased influence on systems. She sounds... The Imperial Navy provides the ultimate societal safety net, something the federal government should take note of. Dictatorship. Seems like, anyway. Allegiance, Empire. Systems more susceptible to the will. The Senator offers an extensive line of credit to all parties interested in bulk shipments of Imperial armaments. Weapons dealer. His industrial military complex allows him to offer supporters discounted weaponry in his domain. We should accept that this is the 34th century. Slavery is a barbaric practice for people of honor. Aisling's media team uses viral propaganda campaigns to capture hearts and minds, showing a new and populist vision of the Empire. Let's see, Galactic Standing. She's probably the big waifu. Aisling is the queen of media manipulation, or at least her powerful backers are, allowing supporters undue influence on systems in her domain. Imperial slaves are banned. 10% increase the value of high goods. Greater production consumption in her domain. Aligned factions activity are boosted. Imperial slaving is banned. We might not fire the first shot, but we will fire the last. Military and civilian. Aggressive rhetoric on law and order is backed up by a program that subsidizes bounty payouts. I see. Control systems, Imperial slaves banned. Production of weapons. So he seems pretty bread and butter across the board. The Federation condemns the Empire for its barbaric practices, yet ignores the slave wage culture inside its own borders. Slave wage culture. The Alliance provides a broad... let's see... Oh, and there's another person I didn't even see. Ah. Zamina Torval. The lives of the lowest in our society should be the concern of the highest. Senator Torval, strong economic bonds with the system. They treat them as preferred trading partners. Galactic standing, 11th, and her standing decreased. Using her economic connections and vast wealth, Senator Torval purchases both land and infrastructure. Control stake, strong against corporate. Hiring private security allows Senator to keep her distance from some of the darker methods that Control used to keep systems in line. How ensures supporters maximize profits in her domain. Imperial slavery is legalized and Imperial slavery prices reduced by 10%. Imperial ships available in all shipyards, double production and consumption of mines, 10% reduction of price of mine materials in our domain, Empire alliances, production and consumption of Imperial slaves doubled. Market flooding. I assume the reason nobody likes her is because she's all about the slavery. All weapons, slaves, narcotics, and medicines are legal. Huge increase in consumptions of narcotics and weapons with reduced prices. Security level is halved. Black markets are open if not already present. Black markets pay 10% more. Interesting. Be a surveyor. You need to prove you're not scared of the Void, Commander. Venture at least 300 light years from where you started your career. We can start our relationship. I'll only work with those who share at least some of my knowledge of the underworld. Develop your network with at least 5 black markets and we can talk. I only work with bounty hunters. You'll need 15 bounties before I'll consider. Squadrons. Oh, that's all about. That's creating a team. Okay. I'm sorry there's not much going on. It's mainly because I need to understand what the hell I'm doing. Oh, have you seen my person, by the way?
Oh, I like it.
Yeah. That's what they're looking like.
You didn't make the suit white?
No, I ended up going red. Just because I liked the way it looked with everything else. Knowledge base. Empire. Introduction. What a piece of work man is. How noble. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, Hamlet. Okay, great. I don't need the Hamlets. Answers departed Earth. They asked themselves. Okay, just...
The Empire. Introduction. What a piece of work is man. How noble in reason. How infinite in faculty. In form and moving. How express and admirable. In action, how like an angel. In apprehension,
I really
how
should
like
just
a god.
rename this,
The beauty of the world. the paragon of animals.
I'm gonna rename this
Shakespeare,
thing
Hamlet.
here real quick.
When our
Yeah.
ancestors departed Earth,
Eve
they
without the
asked
monthly
themselves,
subscription.
which of our achievements
But-
represents the
Huh?
best of humanity, that we may bring it with us to illuminate
Elite
the dark?
Dangerous.
The
I don't know,
Federation,
something about it being the
embroiled
initial
in a
setup
world of
episode.
Contracts and petty bickering, chose their constitution. They placed their trust not in man himself, but in an imperfect work of man. But my ancestor, your first emperor, was wiser. He knew that the best achievement of humanity was humanity itself. There was more wisdom in a single nucleotide of his noble DNA than in all the Federation's written texts. That same wisdom still guides us now. We need no dusty documents to assert our right. We are human, born to rule. And the universe awaits the firm hand of our governance.
Emperor Trascan Duval II, undelivered draft speech written immediately before his sudden and unexplained death. The Empire, while younger than the Federation, is easily the equal of its historic rival in terms of scale and resources. The key social distinction between the two powers is that slavery in the Empire is legal, a fact that has remained a source of controversy since its inception, both within the Empire and without. Some observers have pointed out, however, that conditions for those at the lowest levels of federal society are far worse than those experienced by imperial slaves. The popular image of the Empire is one of opulence, but while pomp and pageantry may be the norm in the core imperial systems, elsewhere in imperial space, one can find myriad examples of deprivation and squalor. Indeed, the Empire encompasses many striking contrasts. Sophisticated technology exists alongside an ancient Roman system of government, and the affluence of the core worlds depends on often unregulated slave labor in the wretched outer colonies. Ruthless industrial efficiency and low taxation has made the Empire rich and mighty. The hierarchy of imperial society is rigid, but a citizen can always rise through the ranks if he or she becomes wealthy enough and makes the right connections. Even a slave could, in theory, become a senator. The Empire. History. The Achenar colony was founded. In the mid-23rd century, wealthy entrepreneur Marlene Duval was so frustrated with the federal government that she founded an independent colony of her own in the Achenar system, chosen for its remoteness. When Marlene was killed shortly afterwards in a flyer accident, her brother Henson Duval took over as ruler. Henson Duval the Emperor. Duval immediately abolished the fledgling democracy that Marlene had set up, and in its place he established a system modelled on ancient Rome. He was now emperor, and his closest allies were his senators. Any colonists who might have objected were forced into silent compliance with Duval's vision. Such were his wealth and power. It was also widely believed that Marlene Duval, like Remus in ancient Rome, had been killed by her own brother. Nobody dared to speak out. The Mudlark extinction. The colonists were aware that the planet they had settled, Achenar 6D, had indigenous life, but at first it wasn't appreciated that this included a sentient species, nicknamed the Mudlarks after they were observed digging through riverbank mud in search of food. Although the Mudlarks were at a pre-agricultural stage of development, they appear to have developed the beginnings of language. They also created crude forms in molded clay, with no obvious practical purpose, possibly indicating a nascent artistic culture. The Mudlarks proved fatally vulnerable to the bacteria carried by the colonists, and within a few decades of the colony's founding, the species was extinct. Rumors subsequently emerged that Henson Duval had purposefully removed all traces of the Mudlarks, partly in fear of federal reprisal and partly to ensure that his development plans would not be hindered by ecological constraints. The Federation attempted to reclaim Akinar. When the federal government heard rumors that Duval's colony had recklessly caused the destruction of a sentient indigenous species, they decided on military intervention. The Imperial ships beat back the federal attackers, who were unable to establish a beachhead among the airless outer worlds, and struggled to maintain supply lines so far from Earth. The federal forces eventually fell back and entrenched in the Beta Hydri system. Skirmishes with Imperial ships continued for the next 50 years, but these were unable to prevent Duval from expanding the Empire to many other worlds. The Age of Expansion. After hostilities with the Federation ceased, the Empire entered a century of growth, annexing many new systems and persuading others to join. It spent the following 2 centuries consolidating its new territory, appointing colonial administrators from among the noble houses of Akinar.
There's so much to learn on every single one of these societies.
The Empire. Society.
No,
An ancient
in
Roman
here.
model.
I'm
The
listening to the
Empire
histories
works on a
right now,
clean system.
and the
Society
societies.
is divided into tiers: Emperor, senators, patrons, clients, and then citizens, with slaves below these. Groups of patrons pledge their support to a given senator, offering military service, tax revenue, and the right to wield the patrons' votes in the Senate on their behalf. In return, the patrons are granted a measure of protection and material security, as well as having their interests represented in the Imperial Senate. Senators are responsible for deciding tax rates and welfare systems for their patrons, meaning that the lower a given senator's tax rates, the more patrons he is likely to attract. This is far from being a patron's only concern, however. Loyalty over time, ideological compatibility, family connections, and discreet private deals can all play a part in deciding which senator to back. The system extends downward through the tiers in a similar fashion, with clients pledging themselves to given patrons, and citizens pledging themselves to given clients. The votes held by the patrons actually comprise the total votes of all the clients pledged to them. Similarly, the votes held by those clients comprise the total votes of their pledged citizens. Patrons are therefore capable of investing variable degrees of power in their chosen senators, with the result that some senators are more powerful than others. Senators are responsible for those below them, meaning that everyone has a form of social security, at least in theory. Indeed, many senators take pride in the security they offer their citizens. Some have even been known to drain material wealth from small independent worlds and pump it back into the capital economy, allowing them to reduce citizens' taxes and giving their own popularity a considerable boost. Patrons are free to withdraw their patronage from their chosen senator, placing the onus on the senator to represent them satisfactorily or face a loss of voting power. Rigid stratification. The division between social classes is formal, unambiguous, and strict. But there is a clear path to advancement. A person can pay a fee and petition for admittance to the rank above. In this way, slaves can become citizens too. The law is not the same for all. Senators have a responsibility to enforce the law, and they must obey the emperor's decree, but are otherwise above the law. A senator can even carry out executions personally, with little, if any, fear of consequence. The Empire. Military. The Imperial Navy. Maintaining a modernized navy has always been a top priority for the Empire. The ever-present threat posed by the Federation has driven previous emperors to empty the coffers again and again, for fear of being outstripped in the arms race. More recently, funding has come from wealthy individual senators, many of whom are all too eager to gain influence within the Navy. Indeed, it has been claimed that devastating planetary mining has been carried out in order to further this cause. The Fasisi system is arguably the most significant Imperial naval base. Many officers are housed on the world of Topaz, while Peter's Wreck is home to the training centers. As well as the battle fleets, the Imperial Navy maintains a subdivision dedicated to exploring the fringes of known space. The Emperor's Own. Genetic engineering is not officially tolerated in the Empire, but it does sometimes take place. One notable example is the Emperor's Own, a group of genetically engineered super soldiers deployed during the shock invasion of Mansfield Colony in the Liedler system in 2959. They proved brutally efficient, overrunning the Federal defenses in a mere 2 hours and inflicting a rare defeat upon a Federal Gurkha regiment. The Empire, Culture and Values. The human body represents perfection. This belief, once held with near religious intensity, still forms
I don't
the
like 'em.
bedrock of
I
the
don't care
Empire's
for 'em.
culture
They
and
frown upon
morals.
genetic
modification is frowned
modifications.
upon, but a degree of genetic correction is known to take place, supposedly to correct defects such as vulnerability to certain diseases. The belief in the sanctity of the human body originates with the first emperor, Henson de Val. While he did not claim to be literally descended from the gods in the manner of Roman emperors of old, he declared that his own image was the paradigm to which others ought to aspire. Households across the empire were required to display a statue or bust of the emperor in a place of honor. Imperial citizens are therefore expected to shun habits that corrupt or defile the human body, such as excessive indulgence in narcotics. The ownership of slaves, by contrast, is tolerated in the same way that the ownership of any beautiful work of art is tolerated. Mistreatment of slaves is thus akin to vandalism. Keeping one's own body in peak condition and adorning it with jewels and expensive clothes is not vanity, but duty. And owning well-treated
Interesting.
slaves
They have
is also
slavery,
considered a
but
sign of good character.
you should never
The
be
Emperor's
mistreating your
word
slaves,
is
and you should be
supreme.
treating them properly
The Emperor's
because
successor is decided by the Senate, although the
it's
Deval
considered
dynasty
good
has such a
order,
strong
and
power
mistreating a
base
slave
that the
is
imperial
vandalism.
throne has only ever been occupied by members of that bloodline. For generations, genetic selection ensured that the Emperor's heir would be male, and the current ruler, Arissa Lavinie de Val, is the first woman to hold the throne. Marlene de Val is sometimes described as the Empire's first female ruler, but this is incorrect. The colony she founded was a democracy. Honor is everything. The value placed on honor is a constant throughout all tiers of imperial society. Honor can be lost through various means, including leaving debts unpaid, failing to respect a superior or provide for a dependent, breaking a solemn vow, conducting combat with cowardly weapons such as nerve gas, and defiling one's own body. Slavery is acceptable, but slaves must be well treated. In the Empire, it is not uncommon for the poor and disenfranchised to sign up for a period of military service in exchange for a small sum of money. A similar logic applies to imperial slavery, to the extent that someone might sell themselves into slavery to clear a debt and restore their honor. Selling oneself into slavery is a straightforward legal process and results in a guaranteed sum of money for one's family, so it is a popular option for the desperate. In practice, however, many find that it takes much longer than expected to clear their debts. People are also forced into slavery against their will. Sometimes a senator will sentence a person of lower rank to be stripped of citizenship and designated as a slave, but it is more common to impose a fine of such magnitude that the citizen has no recourse but to sell his or herself into slavery. Slaves may also be taken prisoner following a conflict, abducted from their home, or even captured in a hijacking. While trading slaves is lawful everywhere in the Empire, except on Emerald, taking new slaves outside of wartime is illegal without the blessing of a senator. The Empire. Diplomatic relations. The Federation. Resentment of the Federation runs deep in the Empire. The superpower is remembered as an oppressive, interfering force that hypocritically avoids inflicting the slightest harm on non-human life. but thinks nothing of forcibly imposing its values on its fellow humans, and lacking the freedoms and social customs that the Empire values so dearly. While open hostility has frequently been the case in the past, the current situation is one of grudging coexistence beneath which mistrust simmers. Despite this antipathy, the Empire cooperated with the Federation in a series of joint initiatives against the Thargoids in the early 3300s. The Alliance. When the Alliance was founded in 3230, following a bitter conflict with the Empire and the Federation, multiple systems defected to it from both superpowers. To the surprise of many, the Empire took very little further retributive action, partly because of the ill health of the Emperor of the time, and partly due to a belief that the defecting systems would return to their natural home, sooner or later. The Empire's current attitude to the Alliance is one of studied contempt. To recognize it as a threat would be too much like showing respect. Internal politics. Unsurprisingly for a society so concerned with rank and influence, the Empire contains a multitude of feuding power blocks. In particular, there is a good deal of bad blood between the various noble houses, whose values range from hardcore traditionalist to staunch reformist. The Imperial Senate is no longer as overshadowed by the Emperor as it once was, and has gained sufficient strength to act as a counterbalance to the Emperor's political will. The individual character of the Emperor still determines the Empire's overall direction, however, and the suggestion that the Empire should evolve out of its old ways has proven deeply divisive.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, 10. So it looks like there's 3 big federations, or there's 3 big galactic groups. Introduction.
The Federation. Introduction. For I dipped into the future, far as human eye could see, saw the vision of the world and all the wonder that would be, saw the heavens fill with commerce, argosies of magic sails, pilots of the purple twilight dropping down with costly bales, till the war drum throbbed no longer, and the battle flags were furled in the Parliament of Man, the Federation of the World. Alfred Lord Tennyson, Locksley Hall, 1835.
How then to attempt the impossible task of summing up the Federation? We are the ones who draw the lines. Our forefathers, who lived through the bitter anguish of global wars, drew a line under them and declared, no more. We enshrined the rights of all citizens in our Constitution, underlined them, and signed. We plotted the lines that first linked the star systems, bringing humanity to the shores of new worlds, opening the way to interstellar trade. And when humanity itself, in the exuberance of youth, threatened the delicate balance of alien life, again we drew a line. Thus far let us lawfully tread, and no further.
Isaac Gellin, Federation President. Inaugural Speech, 2862. The Federation is the oldest of the galaxy's 3 superpowers, a vast geopolitical entity reaching out from the core system of Sol and encompassing a broad socio-economic spectrum. Among the myriad federal star systems, one can find extraordinary wealth, crushing poverty, and everything in between. By contrast with the Empire, which offers a social safety net in the form of state-sanctioned slavery, the poorest members of federal society have no safeguards and no way out. For them, life on the graffiti-stained streets is inescapable, and the gulf between their lives and those of the super-rich could not be more insurmountable. At its best, the Federation embodies the values of its founding nations: democracy, industry, and liberty. But federal society can also be competitive and unforgiving. Corporations wield too much power, politicians are often corrupt, and a sink-or-swim ethos prevails. The Federation. History. The nations of Earth united in the aftermath of war. After the devastation of World War III, the United States of the Americas rose to become the planet's dominant nation. Over the following years, it gradually brought the other nations of the world under its aegis. Called at first the Federation of the USA, the expanding democracy was soon given the less exclusive title of the Federation. Humanity reached for the stars. When faster-than-light travel became a reality in the 22nd century, several terrestrial corporations competed fiercely to establish the first human colony in a new star system. Tau Ceti was the first system to be colonized, followed by Delta Pavonis, Beta Hydria, and Altair. In their wake, there followed a wild scramble of pioneering expeditions and colonial ventures. The first colony rebelled. The year 2161 saw a dispute between the colony of Tau Ceti III and the Federation Authority, centered on the colonists' repeated refusal to limit the damage they were inflicting on the alien ecosystem. Earth dispatched a fleet with orders to revoke the colony's charter. The colony responded by declaring independence. A military stalemate led to grudging compromise, and the Federal Accord resulted, granting the system rights and representation along with concomitant duties. The Federation, born on Earth, was now an association of star systems. The Birthright Wars gave corporations preferential treatment. Starting in 2621, a group of corporations subjected the federal government to over a century of unrelenting pressure. They demanded the right to buy up underexploited colonial land from its hereditary owners. Under the terms of the original charters, the land belonged to the colonists and their descendants, regardless of their ability to mine, farm, or otherwise exploit it, meaning that immense resources were lying untapped. The corporations argued that with the machinery, workforce, and fleets at their disposal, they could tap those resources. The Federation would be enriched, the original owners would be compensated, and everyone would be satisfied. The Federation bowed to pressure and allowed compulsory purchase of the family's land, albeit for far less than the expected sums. Outrage, rebellion, and, in one case, the defiant resettlement of an entire colony resulted. The Federation's detractors often point to this dark episode as indicative of its true nature, a mere administrative puppet bent to the will of rapacious corporations. The Federation. Society. A federated democracy. The Federation's legislative body is made up of congressmen elected to represent their system or state. Apart from the oldest core systems such as Sol, which encompasses multiple states, each star system within the Federation is considered a single state. New colonies do not qualify for full Federation membership until and unless they fulfill the development objectives set down for them. With self-reliance comes representation. The federal government has its seat on Mars, which was terraformed in 2286. Congress was moved there from Earth in the early third millennium. The executive branch is headed by an elected president with a fixed 8-year term. Constitutional rights obtain. The sovereign rights of all individuals are enshrined in the Constitution, which is a modified and streamlined version of the US Constitution, originally codified in the 18th century. The right to liberty underscores the absolute ban on slavery within the Federation and is a point of contention with the Empire. corporate interests dominate. Although the Federation is loudly and proudly democratic, corporations still exercise tremendous influence over the democratic process, shaping citizens' choices through celebrity endorsement, lobbying, and occasionally outright corruption. The government is notoriously reluctant to curb corporate activity. The typical question in Congress is not whether a given policy will favor corporate interests, but which ones it will favor. Competition between corporations for Congress support can lead to a deadlock in the government. The Federation. Military. The Federal Navy. The Federation has maintained a battle fleet since the days of the first federal colony, which was established in the Tau Ceti system. Its official mandate is to protect shipping and defend the borders of federal space, but it has also frequently been deployed against the Federation's own rebellious citizens. At first, the Federation's member systems were required to contribute the required ships, making the mustering process a cumbersome one. But following the Birthright Wars, corporations were chartered to produce centralized fleets, which made for a far more efficient system. The naval shipyards and training academy were originally based in the Anlave system, but the academy has since been moved to the custom world of Navy Central in Eta Cassiopeia. The Navy benefited from massive investment following the forced sell-off of colonial land in the Birthright Wars, during which it was wielded against the colonists in a bitterly resented move. When the Thargoids were first encountered in 2849, the Navy was boosted once again in fear of the alien threat, and a further bolstering followed in 2867, in the aftermath of what were believed to be Thargoid attacks. Governor Raul Santorini championed heavy cuts to the Navy budget in 3022, which were not reversed until President Varian Scott came to power in 3144. Scott talked up the Thargoid threat, again increasing funding to the Navy and removing the requirement for military actions to be approved by congressional vote. Land forces. In addition to the rank and file, the Federation still enjoys the loyal service of special military divisions, such as the Gurkha Regiment, who have served since the days of Earth. Keeping up long-standing traditions such as this is an important link to the past for federal citizens. The Federation. Culture and values. If you want to eat, you have to work. The Federation has no room for freeloaders. It has nurtured the core frontier values of self-reliance and entrepreneurship since its inception, and respects the self-made citizen. This insistence upon paying your way and pulling your weight also applied, notoriously, to the process whereby new colonies were established. Until a given colony was able to fulfill the development goals set down for it by the Federation, it could only ever be a dependency with no voice of its own. Given that the Federation's assigned goals could vary wildly from one colony to the next, this requirement frequently chafed with the colonists. While the Federation maintained that it was simply exercising flexibility, since no two worlds were the same, some colonies were tempted away to the Empire by the promise of being recognized as sovereign without having to jump through arbitrary hoops. Corporations took humanity into space. The Federation has never forgotten the role played by private enterprise in the initial migration from Earth. Corporations enjoy substantial freedom and influence under the Federation, so much so that it often seems they are the powers truly running the show. Federal citizens can be as passionately loyal to their corporations as they would be to a family or clan group, and it is common for successive generations of a given family to serve the same corporation.
Yeah,
Harvest the limitless riches of space, but respect non-human life. The Federation and the Empire have hugely differing views on the primacy of humanity in the cosmos. While the Federation insists that its colonies treat indigenous non-human life with care, the Empire typically takes a more human-centric approach. This attitude has allowed the Empire to poach several developing Federation colonies who felt themselves hamstrung by ecological regulations. Wealth is freedom. Federal citizens actively embrace corporate culture, expressing their identity through brand choices and media consumption. The Federation. Diplomatic relations. The Empire. In 2292, a group of colonists established a settlement on Achenar 6D, chosen for its remoteness. The original intent was merely to live free from interference, but autocrat Henson Duval rapidly took control of the colony and had himself proclaimed emperor. The Federation attempted military reprisals, partly due to the nascent empire's insistence on independence, but faced a harder fight than they had expected and were held at bay. Over the next 50 years, the empire expanded to many other worlds. The Federation's relationship with the empire is one of entrenched mistrust, stemming from irreconcilable ideological differences, mollified somewhat by the corporations, which have a presence in both territories, and thus act as a stabilizing influence. Outright hostilities between the powers, when they occur at all, are usually conducted through proxy forces. The Alliance. In 3228, the federally aligned corporations supplying the Alioth system attempted to raise their prices, leading to a citizen rebellion. Several independent systems assisted the rebels. Neither galactic superpower was able to suppress the revolt. The Empire was too far away to intervene effectively, whereas the Federation was hampered by unexpected public sympathy for the rebels. The Alliance of Independent Systems, founded on Alioth in 3230, drew in new members over the next 20 years. Some were already independent, while others defected from the Federation or Empire. In order to keep more worlds from defecting, the Federation was forced to reform the process whereby colonies could achieve full federal membership. So far, it has only managed to slow the loss of worlds to the Alliance, and has yet to tempt any back. The Alliance. Introduction. Rise, like lions after slumber, in unvanquishable number. Shake your chains to earth, like dew which in sleep had fallen on you. Ye are many, they are few. Percy Bysshe Shelley, The Mask of Anarchy, 1819.
I've read your speech a dozen times, Mick. We can't use it. Sure, we could sound off about self-rule and freedom from tyranny and the dignity of the working man/woman, and the young hotheads would lap it up like they always do. I'm not saying we don't need that stuff, but we mustn't forget it's just marketing. A shiny wrapper. It's not enough. If we're going to make the Alliance of Independent Systems happen, we need more than tub-thumping speeches from a war hero. We need to show our people that the damn thing can work. I want spending plans, dividend forecasts, surveyors' reports. I want data so dry you don't need to believe in it. The people are tired and heartsick. They've been sold dreams too many times by both sides, so let's not try to sell them anymore. It's time to wake up.
Private communique from Meredith Argent to Mick Turner, founders of the Alliance. The Alliance is the youngest of the galaxy's 3 superpowers, and is perhaps best understood in terms of what it chooses not to be. It rejects both the extreme capitalism of the Federation and the rigid hierarchy of the Empire, choosing instead a third way of voluntary association for mutual benefit. The desire for freedom from interference, both from external threats and internal bureaucracy, was the key motivation behind the Alliance's founding, and is enshrined in its Articles of Association. The governments of the member systems are given as much autonomy to create their own laws and administer their own affairs as possible. The right to political self-determination and cultural self-expression are essential to the Alliance, but it remains to be seen whether the ultimate result will be stable harmony or a cacophony of dissenting voices. Every Alliance member knows that alliances have been made before, many times over, only to collapse. The Alliance. History. Alioth was colonized. The crucible in which the Alliance was forged was Alioth, a system so rich in gas and mineral resources that early surveyors considered it a stellar El Dorado. When the Federation established its first colony on Alioth 5b in 2452, they gave the planet the less grandiose name of Fruitcake, as mineral deposits lay in the loamy soils as abundantly as raisins in cake. Later, commentators would reflect, bitterly, that the world was well named because everyone wanted a piece. A conflict over mining rights drew in the superpowers. Alioth's prosperity soon attracted corporations eager to support the developing system in exchange for a share of the profits. A dispute over rights quickly escalated into an armed conflict, prompting the Empire to dispatch a military force, ostensibly for the colonists' protection. The Federation also sent ships, but theirs were a response to the corporation's plea for aid. Unable to directly engage the Federal ships without sparking a war, the Empire covertly encouraged the Alioth colonists to renounce the Federation and accept Imperial protection, thus freeing the Empire to engage with the occupying Federal forces in sympathy with the will of the people. This marked the first of many incidents in which the people of Alioth were used to advance the agenda of another power. Federation-sponsored insurrection. In 2530, the Federation set out to undermine Imperial control of Alioth by exploiting local resentment of the governor. They covertly supported acts of protest and petty vandalism. Then, when the inevitable Imperial crackdown followed, stoked the fires of social unrest. A terrorist movement called the Cakers emerged, and the atrocities escalated. The years that followed saw a protracted and degrading series of proxy wars and cynical propaganda campaigns as the federal, imperial, and corporate powers all contended for Alioth. The system made an abortive attempt to establish its independence in 2617, resulting in a short-lived cooperation between the Empire and the Federation, neither of which were willing to allow this. The Revolution. In the early 4th millennium, both the Federation and the Empire had a presence in the Alioth system. Fruitcake, now known as Gordonworld, was a federal protectorate, while the Empire had earlier conducted terraforming experiments on the world of New California and also held gas mining platforms in the system. The federal corporations supplying New California had raised the prices of their goods several times in the previous years, and when they imposed yet another price hike, the planet's inhabitants revolted. In the insurrection that followed, rebels commandeered any available ships and headed out to the gas mining platforms, where they attacked the outpost's corporate employees. Alarmed, the Empire and the Federation dispatched ships to put down the rebellion, but were beaten back by a hastily assembled force made up of fighters from Alioth and, crucially, volunteers from nearby independent systems. Neither the Empire nor the Federation were able to gain a foothold, and eventually both forces had to withdraw. The Empire faced too many logistical problems fighting so far from home, while the Federation's efforts were undermined by public sympathy for the rebels. An alliance was brokered. The victory in Alioth had proven that independent systems working together could hold their own against the superpowers. It fell to pilot Mick Turner and scientist Meredith Argent to ride the wave of public spirit and propose a permanent alliance under whose aegis independent systems could enjoy freedom from imperial and federal interference. The alliance was founded in 3230, and in the next 2 decades it expanded its membership to more than 20 systems, some defecting from the Federation and the Empire, others pledging as independents. The Alliance. Society. Many worlds, few rules, no overlords. The Alliance's Articles of Membership are designed to unite the member systems with strong, straightforward bonds that allow as much self-determination as possible. Membership guarantees mutual prosperity through guaranteed free trade and security through the Alliance Defense Force, while leaving much of the business of government to the individual members. The Alliance Assembly acts as a central arbitration committee, helping to settle disputes between member systems. It also oversees formal arrangements between members, such as treaties, research goals, and mutually agreed policies. As no one system can be allowed to carry more weight than another, the Assembly frequently finds itself bogged down in endless back and forth negotiations. Getting them to agree on anything is a task often compared to herding ling-langs, notoriously ill-tempered carnivores from the
Herding
Achenar system.
ling-langs.
A body of civil servants who remain uninvolved in politics handle most of the day-to-day administrative work that enables the Alliance to function. Conditional autonomy for member systems. Alliance members are required to subscribe to and uphold a code of human rights, and to have a democratically elected government. Citizens of any member state have a right of freedom of movement and residence within any other member state. Furthermore, all member systems are obliged to give immediate military assistance to any fellow member when necessary. The Alliance. Military. The Alliance Defense Force. While each Alliance member system maintains its own navy, all members are required to commit ships and crew to the Alliance Defense Force. This rapid response group usually remains within Alliance space, and its tasks vary from providing a beleaguered system with military assistance to evacuating settlements hit by natural disaster. A 6-member Council of Admirals oversees the Alliance Defense Force. It is accountable to the Assembly, but does not require its approval before taking action. This freedom of decision-making prevents urgent military action being delayed by tedious debate. The Alliance. Culture and values. Cooperation, mutual aid, tolerance, and respect. The values that bind the Alliance systems also hold true on an interpersonal level. Just as the different worlds of the Alliance formally recognize one another's legitimacy and value, individuals are generally reluctant to show prejudice against others, and will band together to help those in genuine need. Diversity is strength. Members of the Alliance are not obliged to conform to what they consider the corporate saturation of federal culture, or the status-obsessed posturing of the Imperials. Individual systems are encouraged to preserve and celebrate their own cultural identities. This approach results in a rich variety of artistic, literary, and dramatic output. Free to speak, free to protest. One curious cultural constant across the Alliance member systems is the way the citizens indulge their freedom to complain. They can criticize their governments without fear of repression, and they frequently do so. Previous experience of exploitation has left many citizens cynical, but possessed of a certain mordant humor and a willingness to take life as it comes. The Alliance. Diplomatic relations. The Federation. Alliance attitudes to the Federation vary sharply, depending on whether one is asking about the Federation's government or its citizenry. The government is seen as a hidebound relic, unable to arrest its slow decline into decadence, but the general populace are much more compassionately viewed. An Alliance citizen, proud of his or her own emancipation, is likely to have a rather condescending view of a federal citizen. They are characterized as ignorant dupes, kept satiated by mass-market entertainment and branded consumer goods. This is not seen as their fault, however. On the contrary, it is widely held that the Federation and the corporate barons deliberately keep the people in this servile state. The Alliance is more interested in enticing federal systems to join its union, thereby winning the moral war, than in exacting vengeance for the wrongs of the past. There has been too much violence already. The Empire. To the Alliance, the Empire is anathema. With its monolithic culture, veneration of opulence, disdain for human rights and tolerance of slavery, it could not be further from the Alliance's values of mutual respect and freedom from exploitation. Yet, for all this, Many Alliance members would rather deal with the Empire than the Federation. The common belief is that the Federation will always pretend to be something it is not. At least with the Empire, you know what you're dealing with. Most Alliance citizens view the emergence of a progressive movement within the Empire with cynicism. Everyone knows that the Empire is incapable of changing its ways. The whole Imperial social model is an imitation of the past. But some in the Alliance, nevertheless, welcome the ascension of the first female Emperor. The edifice may not be about to crumble, but such a profound change cannot be ignored.
Well, that's 3 of the ton of stuff that's here. So, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna call it for the night. And I'm gonna go ahead and knock these out. And if any of you care to go ahead and, like, hear any of this stuff, let me know, and I'll do a whole episode on this at some point. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. Have a wonderful night. Thanks for watching. You know, if I can get this thing to cancel out here.